Hi, welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiazda. On today's show, we'll check in with the Ames Police Department. My guest today is Officer Nick Schieffer with the Ames Police Department. Nick, welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
So your position with the Ames Police Department is School Resource Officer.
Yes.
And has it always been School Resource Officer?
No, I worked 5 years on patrol before becoming the School Resource Officer the last 2 years.
Okay, and have you always been at the Ames Police Department, or have you worked other places?
No, I have not always been an Ames police officer. My first job out of high school was really in the United States Army. I served in the Army for 4 years on active duty. I spent 6 years in the Iowa National Guard. While I was in the Guard, I went to Iowa State, and I got a degree in Community and Regional Planning from Iowa State University. And I spent about 3 months in a Council of Governments in Southwest Iowa doing some planning until the Ames Police Department decided to take me in.
Wow, that's a really unusual background for police officers, but the more police officers I talk to on our force, the more varied I understand the backgrounds are. We bring in and attract police officers from a lot of different backgrounds.
Yes, I think it gives us a lot of different perspectives that maybe you wouldn't have if you had someone or a department completely made up of police officers that were criminal justice majors straight out of college.
As school resource officer, you deal with a different kind of population. Your citizens are much younger.
Yes, while we do deal with juveniles on patrol, it's a much lesser proportion. Now it's pretty much all juveniles, although I still have plenty of opportunities to work with adults because all of those juveniles have parents. And in Ames, we're lucky to have such caring and involved parents that want to know what's going on in their kids' education. So a lot of times I'm going to be working with both, even though on a daily basis and in face-to-face I'm going to be seeing the students.
So you were telling me you work from elementary school all the way up to the high school. I would assume more of your time is spent with the older kids?
Yes. I kind of start out every week planning to be at the high school Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and spending Tuesday and Thursday at the middle school. And the elementary schools, they utilize me as they see fit. Some teachers will call me, for something every other week. Some maybe I'll only see once a semester. So,
as a resource, do you get to know the kids very well? I mean, do you know them by their first name?
Or? Oh, absolutely, absolutely. What I try to do first and foremost is to be a mentor to a lot of kids. So. School resource officers, at least in the Ames Police Department, are sent to Level 1 National Association of School Resource Officer training, where we get a really good understanding of, or at least a basic understanding of child psychology. And what we try to do first, and this is based on emphasis, is be a mentor, second to be an educator, and third to act as a law enforcement officer.
So school is starting. It's a busy time of year for everybody. What are some of those early beginning of school issues that you see that are not just in the school, but maybe around the school, traffic, truancy, kids staying out too late? What are some things that kind of take a little bit longer to get into a routine?
Well, there's a lot of them, and I mean, even as you started to explain right there, there's a multitude of issues that can come up. First one, dealing with traffic. We're lucky to be in a district where there's a lot of new buildings. Kids are being given really first-rate facilities, but it also can bring headaches with new traffic patterns. So we're trying to get the word out to parents to be really patient when it comes to dealing with drop-off and pick-up situations. In addition to that, you just don't know what kids have been up to and how families have changed over the summertime. They lose a lot of structure in the summer that they had during the school year, and I work pretty closely with guidance counselors to make sure we're identifying at-risk kids, reaching out to them, and reaching out to their families.
So you have some kids that maybe just don't come to school right when school starts, or didn't realize school started, or?
Right, and talking to some people that work in administration at the schools, it's not uncommon for a family to not register their kid until the last minute, and sometimes that happens because we all get busy. You know what it's like, Susan, to have work obligations and family obligations, and sometimes things slip through. So late registrations and late arrivals and late situations will keep us on our toes.
Yeah, like you mentioned before, some of the schools are going to open for the first time, and they've been closed for a while, or they're new. So just a lot of change in routines. And boy, the one thing I see in the mornings is people need to slow down.
Absolutely, and even if it weren't school time, I would say that's a true statement. But especially during school, when we have our kids getting out, a lot of kids now, we're really pushing kids to ride their bikes and walk to school, kind of getting back to the old days, and just encouraging those healthy lifestyles. And if they do those things, studies have shown that they tend to be more attentive when they first sit down during the school day.
So one of the other things as we get into the school year, I think about is all the after-school activities. Now, does your day pretty much end when the school day ends? Because we have football games coming up and lots of extracurricular activities, and we sometimes see police officers at those events as well.
Right. Well, it's up to our patrol officers if they would like to go out and do foot patrol at any of the Ames School District's athletic events. We certainly encourage anybody to get out of their car and come around and see what's going on. Myself, my day typically goes until 3:30. Depending on what's going on that day, I might have to stay over longer. I do work at the high school football games and occasionally at the high school basketball games. Both of those events are two of the more well-attended events that the Ames School District holds, so it does kind of require some extra officer patrol.
So do you like working with this age group?
Yes, I love it. All the way through kindergarten, all the way up to the 12th graders. They kind of become your kids the longer you're here. This will be my third year in the schools, and it was, compared to the first year, seeing some of the seniors go off this past spring to college kind of pulls your heartstrings a little bit, and with 3 more years in this position, I think that feeling will only get stronger.
Wow. Well, I know this is a busy time of year. I so appreciate you stopping by and sharing with us some of your stories.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
If you would like more information about the school resource officer or anything about the Ames Police Department, make sure to check our website at cityofames.org. Also, remember for your calendar, as we get towards the end of August, Labor Day is coming up. That will be Monday, September 5th. That will also be the last day of swimming at the Furman Aquatic Center. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.